Good evening, everybody. It is such a joy for us to be present with you here for Get Connected Tuesday, the Chicago Lights edition. We're really looking forward to spending this time with you and sharing with you about our great programs and how you can be a part of them. My name is Alex Cornwell. I'm the Executive Programs Director for Chicago Lights. I've been with the organization for 16 years and have worked closely with our tutoring program, tutoring and summer day, and now work with all 5 of our programs. And so in a little bit, you're going to meet all of our amazing program directors and learn a little bit about the programs that they work with and that you can get involved with. I would like to start us off and ask Nanette to please say a prayer so we can begin our time together in that way.
Great. Thank you, Alex. Well, let us pray. Gracious and loving God, we give you thanks for all the ways that you fill our lives. We thank you that you have given us each other, that you have given us so many ways to serve your people and your world. We pray that we would feel your presence with us here powerfully tonight as we seek to have our minds illumined and our hearts inspired. We give you thanks for all these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Nanette. All right, so our first program that we are going to discuss is our Social Service Center. And so I am going to hand it over to Teresa Thornburg, who's the director of that program and who will share a bit about the work that they are doing.
Cool. Thank you so much, Alex. And thank you all for attending and taking the time out of your evening to learn more about what we do and the programs and to be involved. We really appreciate it. And it's always fun to get to share about what we do on a day-to-day. So as Alex said, my name's Teresa. I'm the program director at the Chicago Lights Social Service Center. Our overreaching goal is mainly to work with adults who are at risk of experiencing homelessness or experiencing homelessness. And we provide a lot of different services. So some of the practical things we do is hand out food, clothing, toiletry items. We work really closely with the Meals Ministry and the Shower Ministry program to make sure our participants are connected to food resources and have access to a shower. We also do case management programming. So in that program, we strive to meet with people one-on-one, develop deeper relationships with them, and help them work towards their goals. People come to us with a lot of different needs. You know, some people are looking for employment. Some people are looking for help getting their legal documents in order. So things like a birth certificate or an ID. You'd just be surprised, you know, it's hard to keep those documents safe if you're living outside. And so there's a lot of turnaround, and that's a service we get a lot of requests for. We always have a lot of requests for housing support. That's kind of our biggest ask from participants, particularly this time of year when it starts to get really cold. That's something that comes up at least 10 times a day. So we have a housing case manager. Her job is to work with people to basically, she'll do an intake where she asks them some questions, and then she tries to find at least 3 resources that meet their needs. We also have a pilot program called the Housing Opportunities Program, and this is a voucher program. So these are basically participants who are kind of looking to make some active changes and are underemployed or have some sort of a barrier to housing. And what we do in the program is we meet with them every week, and we pay a portion of their rent. So we supplement their rent and work with them on achieving their goals. So that could be getting a better job, dealing with an eviction that's on their record, building a credit history. Some sort of a barrier to housing is what we're looking for and what we try and help people with. We offer a food pantry, so people can come once a month and pick up their groceries and supplies in that area. And that's, I think, about a summary of what we do. Pre-COVID, we offered sort of group programming that we're hoping to get started again soon for some of our folks that have gotten a vaccination. So yeah, COVID has obviously changed a lot of how we operate in the Social Service Center. The first and biggest being that we are no longer welcoming people into the building. So when COVID started in March of 2020, we set up what's called our curbside services. So every morning we drag a table outside and people line up and we run back and forth to try and get them what they need. So that's happening every morning and has been the entire pandemic, Tuesday through Friday. We are closed on Mondays because that's when our food gets delivered for the food pantry. But Tuesday through Friday, you can see us on 126 Chestnut, doing our best to get people what they need during morning hours. And then afternoons we reserve for case management time and things like that. In terms of volunteers and ways to engage with our program, we have quite a bit of volunteer opportunities, and we're always excited to have new participants or people engaging with our program. So one of them is on Mondays when we have food pantry deliveries. So what that involves is literally helping us get the food off the truck, and then unloading it into our food pantry and helping us get organized for the week ahead. It's about a 2-hour volunteer opportunity, and we usually have a few other volunteers to help because many hands makes light work. Another volunteer opportunity we have is with our outreach program. So this is when you would come and you would walk out with the staff. We go up and down Michigan Avenue, sometimes near the Chicago Red Line. And our goal is really just to minister to people and to give people who are panhandling or experiencing homelessness resources, to invite them to our program, to tell them about our program. It's a really cool way to connect with participants, and we have a pretty good success rate of getting people to come in after we meet with them. So that's another opportunity. The third is with helping us with our donations. So a big part of our program is donations from members of the church and people who are, a part of the Fourth Church community. Staying on top of those donations is a challenge we have. So we always welcome people who are wanting or willing to fold clothes, get them where they need to be, and help us stay on top and get the inventory out to people. So we use Vomo for all of our volunteer postings. So you can go on there to sign up. And you're always welcome to reach out to any of our staff directly too, and we're happy to coordinate time. So yeah, that's a little bit about the Social Service Center. Thank you.
Thanks, Teresa. We appreciate that. And just for the participants who are here with us right now, we will be having time for questions. We're going to go through all of our programs for a few minutes with each program, and then we will definitely open up for questions and any deeper dives that anybody has. So I'm going to turn it over to Ben Jaffe, who is the director of our urban farm, and he can tell you all about the great things going on there.
Thanks, Alex, and good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us to learn more about Chicago Lights and the programs. And I will speak to the Urban Farm. So yeah, I'm the program director of the Urban Farm, and I'm going, I think it's about 7.5 years, have been on staff with Chicago Lights and Fourth Church. Yes, behind me, this is the Urban Farm. So for those of you, I know a lot of you are connected to Fourth Church and you've heard about the garden or the farm, and maybe some of you haven't, but it has been around for a little while. We're going on, this is our 19th year at 444 West Chicago Ave. And those that have known about it for a while know that it's gone through many changes. Not quite as many changes as the neighborhood around it has, but still a lot of changes. And we are, so it's about a 15-20 minute walk. And we are right at the foot of the original 1942 Cabrini Green row houses. So the very brief history of the farm is that it was founded as a community garden and was known as the Chicago Ave Community Garden for many years. And it really was founded for people to connect over food and for specifically Cabrini Green residents to have a space to grow some of their own food and continue to build community in that way. So it has gone through a lot of changes. It is a former basketball court, so you can't quite tell from behind me here, but this is all a 3/4 acre former basketball court. And some of what we do when you do come to the farm, whether for the farm stand or for volunteering or an event, is we take a deeper dive into the history of the farm and the neighborhood. And so some of what we do is we try to tell the stories that have existed on the ground that we walk on and in the neighborhood around it. So not time for the deeper dive here, but I will say that people connecting over food and growing it, eating it, has always been the focal point of the farm. And so sometimes that takes the form of high school students learning how to grow food. Sometimes it's 6 and 7-year-olds. Sometimes it's individuals facing some barrier to employment in a job training program for adults. And sometimes it's people coming to the farm stand to buy produce. So what we currently do now, this year, of course, is very different than what we did 10 years ago, and a little different than what we did pre-COVID. So I would say just generally what the farm does is that we do a combination of growing food and distributing it, which involves, of course, many steps, but then we also do educational programming for ages 5 and up. That is a summer farm camp. We used to have junior high programs. We have a high school program, and we have had various adult job training programs over the years. And we even do some adult classes, and I'll explain those about those in just a minute. And then we also do lots of different community engagement. So that could be community partnerships with schools or a health clinic, or that could be the way we engage volunteers in our community garden. So that's the broad overview of everything we do. I would say that the things that are kind of coming up are that this fall we are running our high school job training program, the fall session, which is in partnership with After School Matters. We are hosting some on-farm cooking classes for some adults in the community that are part of our market voucher program. So that program is essentially one of the many ways we distribute our produce, and every week we get bags to low-income families who are mostly living in Cabrini Green, but also could live in other parts of the neighborhood. And the cooking classes are really an extension of just connecting with people over food and education, and participants go home with a bag that has the recipe and all the ingredients in it, and a little kitchen kind of gadget or something. The other things that we have coming up, we do have ways for people to volunteer. And one of those ways is, so we have individuals and groups, corporate groups that come out. So if you have a office or know of some, a corporate group that would like to come out, then we can put you in touch with the staff member that schedules that. But also as individuals, we have a number of days throughout the year. Of course, we're kind of now almost done with the year, and I think tonight's actually the literal last night of summer, as the equinox is tomorrow. But we still have a couple volunteer days on the calendar. And then I would say other ways to get involved are our just ways to either donate or, in specific things similar to the social service center. We're sometimes looking for very specific things. And I can kind of point people in the right direction with that. But yeah, we are kind of nearing the end of the season at the farm. And I'll just say briefly that we also grow a lot of food that goes to our on-site farm stand, which is open Fridays 1 to 5. So you can always stop by any Friday between now and October 29th. But we also grow food that goes to our partnership with a health clinic up the street, where produce goes both to a diabetes prevention class and to a Veggie RX program. So essentially doctors at that facility are prescribing patients where applicable, fresh produce. And then in walks one of our bags of produce and it goes to a patient. And we also do donate produce every week to our social service center. So some of the same food bags that go home have some of our fresh produce items in it. I think I'll probably leave it there and wait for the questions later.
Great, thanks, Ben. Always good to plan ahead how you're going to support and volunteer for the next season at the farm. Next, we're going to be moving to Patty Mendez, who is our director of our Dance Academy, and she will share all the goodness happening there.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. And once again, thank you again for joining us and taking the time to listen and hear about our programs here at Chicago Lights. I really enjoy my time with my colleagues. And every time we present, I learn something new. So keep coming to these gatherings because there's so much to learn about everything that we do. Chicago Lights is an amazing organization to work for, and I am just beyond excited to see the things that are coming post-pandemic, of course. The Chicago Lights Dance Academy, I have been with them as program director for 2 years now and actually worked my way up from a teaching artist, teaching in the schools and in our in-person or on-site programming, I should say, because we have to be different programs. And so with that, our 3 programs are our Saturday dance classes, where we do from about late September to early October until mid-June. And that kind of correlates with the calendar for the Chicago Public Schools. We have a summer dance intensive, which is a 1-month program in July. And then we have our in-school residency program, which is a partnership with 5 Chicago Public Schools in diverse communities in which we focus bringing our services and our classes to communities that don't have the resources to go out and pay for professional dance classes that many people are able to do that. And so what we do with all of our classes, our goal is to introduce what dance is and various styles of dance, ballet, jazz, African, hip hop. We do some cultural Mexican folklore. We've done Spanish dance. We've incorporated tap this year. One thing that virtual classes have allowed us to do is to do tap dance. And while if we live on the 2nd floor, we apologize to our neighbors downstairs. But it was an awesome experience to be able to bring tap for the first time this summer, and we'll be continuing throughout the school year. Through all of our classes, we teach beginning level to 2nd level. We have had some of our students go on to be professional dancers and professional teachers as well. We've had some of our students go on to Shy Arts, which is one of the performing arts high schools here in the city. We've had some mentors that mentees, I should say, that have come through the program where they started as our students and kind of went through the program, went to Shy Arts and went to performing arts universities where they majored in dance and education and are currently getting ready to enter the field of education as well as teachers, as well as dance teachers. So that's very exciting to see that, we have had some youth and continue to, to grow on and stay in the arts and stay in the dance world. And that's, for me, that's very exciting because that's something that I was able to do myself. Dancing as a child, growing up through the dance world, and now I get to still continue to do the things that I love and passionate about. As far as how the pandemic has affected us, we did have to, of course, like everyone had to shut down, and we moved to a all virtual platform. We were able to kind of pivot very quickly and learn technology, Zoom, Google Classroom, to be able to teach our classes virtually. So our for last year of 2020, our Saturday program as well as our summer dance intensive was a completely virtual program. The school year was also a virtual program, and with them, we had to learn how to use Google Meets. So on one side of it, we were working Zoom, and then on the other side, we had had to learn how to use Google Meets. So we were kind of transitioning between two different platforms, which I'm sure many of us were, especially if we have young children in schools. And then what we were able to do this summer was we were able to do a sort of hybrid program where half of our dancers attended in person and the other portion did classes virtually. And we'll be doing the same thing for our Saturday program. We're going to be conducting a hybrid program as well, where we're going to have, hopefully we'll have 10 to 15 dancers in person, and then the rest of the students will join us virtually. And our in-school residency program now has transitioned as public schools have gone back to school. We're actually back in school and we're getting ready to start there within the next couple of weeks. The week of September 27th is our first day of back to in-person classes with our Chicago Public Schools. So we're very excited to see all of our former students, and our teaching artists are also very excited to go back and be able to teach in person. Dance is not something that is very easy to teach virtually, and we were still able to manage and continue to be successful, and just continue to do the great things that our teaching artists love to do, and that's dance and keep our kids moving, keeping them healthy and flexible, and hopefully soon we'll be able to go see a show also. So we're excited about that and looking forward to all those things. And that's kind of who we are.
And Patty, is it okay that I mention that, historically it's been a little bit harder to find volunteer opportunities for the Dance Academy, but if anybody's watching this and if anybody here tonight has any ideas or suggestions of how they could support or help out during programming, that you and I are very open to talking about that and hearing
Yes.
about that support.
Yes, absolutely. Dance is one of those things that can be tricky. We don't necessarily need people or volunteers that have experience in dance. We do sometimes we do mailings or costuming and things of that nature. So, anything is welcome.
Amazing, thank you. And now to our last two programs, which work really closely together, Tutoring and Summer Day. And we have our media Houston, who fondly goes by Houston or Miss Houston, to all of us, will be here and is here now to talk about those two programs. Houston?
Good evening. Hello, everyone. Thank you guys for coming to join us at Chicago Lights and finding out about our different programs. We have here plenty of opportunities to volunteer. So yes, I am Armedia Houston, the director of Chicago Lights Tutoring and Summer Day. One of the oldest programs of Chicago Lights. We are started in 1964, and this is our 57th year. So Chicago Lights Tutoring provides one-to-one mentoring to students in grades 1st through 12th. Sometimes some kindergartners will sneak in there. They are all welcome. And we provide them with their own mentor. So each student is assigned or matched with a caring adult that meets with them once a week from October through May. When we are in person, it's Monday through Thursday evenings. Volunteers come in from anywhere from 4:30 to 6 o'clock. Normally we have dinner for the student. So this is while we are in person. We're virtual now. So I just want to speak a little bit about while we're in person. I'll talk fast. When we're in person, the students arrive about 4:30 on a bus from the north side, near west side, and south sides. Each bus has a staff member, two staff members on there to with the students as they ride in. They arrive about 5 o'clock. We provide a hot meal for them on campus at the Fourth Presbyterian Church, 126 East Chestnut. The students come in for a meal for 30 minutes. From after the 30 minutes, we provide them with an enrichment class just to help them foster that time between school and getting right back into school with their homework with their tutors. So we provide an enrichment class. We have everything from music, dance, yoga, chess, a computer lab, Girl Scouts, a Girl Talk class, and most of these classes are taught by volunteers also. These are people who have a passion for an enrichment activity that they would like to share with our students, and we help them to develop it into like a 30-minute enrichment class. They would come in once a week or twice a week, or 3 times or 4 times a week. It depends on how many classes they want to teach. Usually our rooms, our classes, our days are divided by grade level. Mondays and Tuesdays are normally geared toward the high school kids, 7th through 12th grade, but there are some 1st and 6th graders that come on those nights because of scheduling. Wednesdays and Thursdays are normally geared toward the younger generation, 1st through 6th grade. So some of the programming is geared more toward little kids programming, whereas with the Monday through Tuesday, those programmings are geared more toward the older kids, 7th through 12th grade kids. So we have the one-to-one mentoring, volunteering at the dining room for dinner time, volunteer to teach an enrichment class from that 5:30 to 6 o'clock time. We also have math tutors, language tutors. If you are good with different languages, we need you for the high school kids because they need tutoring with the different languages. That's very much needed. If you are skilled in math, we need math tutors. If you can't commit from October to May to one kid, one night a week, how about substitute tutoring? A substitute tutor comes in and provides a tutoring for a student whose regular tutor may be traveling, out sick, or have some other types of emergencies that come about because things happen. And so therefore, we need substitute tutors. So you would just sit in with that kid that night and help them with whatever they need, homework or doing a project or something like that. We also have a reading clinic. We try to provide our kids with literacy skills that's going to help them. Those who are struggling readers, we have a reading specialist that is on staff. We assess the students at the beginning, but we have parents also that come to us and let us know if their child is struggling with reading. And we provide them with those materials for that, phonemic awareness, comprehension skills, phonics. In our reading clinic, it's an hour. It's virtual for right now. Our 1st through 6th graders, most of them cannot be vaccinated at this time. So out of safety purposes, we are virtual. So we need volunteers. We need like maybe retired teachers, people who have been in the education field to come on and to help us to with the reading clinic. So Ms. Evans, the reading specialist, will train you in everything that you need in order for you to help us out in that situation. So we need retired teachers. I've recruited one of my old coworkers from CPS. I saw her, and she's going to come on. So any retired teachers, please come on. We need you for that. Also, we have our career development program. That is for our high school students. The career development program runs for 8 months from January through August. Within that programming time, there are speakers that we need to come in and talk with the kids about resume writing, mock interviews, building their skills, job readiness skills such as Excel or Word. If you can teach some of those classes to our students, financial literacy, budgeting, how to network while you're on the job. And then we also need local businesses to be internship sites where the students can come and intern in your job at the local businesses for 8 weeks in the summertime. No pressure on you. Chicago Lights foots the bill for the interns. We just need you to provide that environment for them to teach them professional skills while they're there as interns. So we're looking for that. Chicago Lights also provides scholarships while we are building them up academically to get them ready to come out here to the real world. We provide them with high school scholarships as well as college scholarships for our students. So that's another way that people can donate to the scholarship funds for us. So we need people in the career development, we need the one-to-one mentoring, enrichment classes, substitute tutors, math enrichment, language enrichment. So those are the various ways in which someone can volunteer with the Chicago Lights tutoring program. We also have the summer day program. The summer day program is a short 6-week program in the summertime to help prevent learning loss throughout the summer for the students. So provide them with a little academics and arts and enrichment arts classes for performance arts classes while when we are in person. And hopefully for 2022, summer day will be back and in person, and we will definitely need volunteers to help us with the academic parts in the morning time and with the arts classes, the singing, the dancing, the performance arts classes in the afternoons. So hopefully we will be back and we will have lots of volunteers coming on to help. So that's the Chicago Lights Tutoring and Summer Day program. And those are opportunities in which you can volunteer to help build kids' self-confidence, self-esteem, help develop their personal skills and communication skills, help make them feel valued and loved. That one-to-one mentoring, building those relationships that last a long time. We have some tutors that have been with their kids for a long time and have did wonders with the children and providing be role models for the students, because if they can't see it, they can't be it. So we very much like the mentoring. So thank you so much, and hopefully people will volunteer to mentor a student. Thank you.
Thanks, Houston. So many great ways to get involved with Chicago Lights. So we have a fairly small group. If everybody can go to the top right-hand corner of their Zoom screen, there's a way to change the view from speaker to gallery. That might be helpful as we're doing some question and answer. So maybe for those who are in the audience tonight, which is Patricia, Eric, Larry, Priscilla, Sophia, are you okay with doing a large group question answer, or do you already know the program you're super excited about and you're ready to learn more about? If you kind of put that in the chat, or even just unmute and let me know if you're still wanting to learn about everything or if you're very specific. Yeah, Patricia, go ahead.
So maybe I missed it, but I didn't catch how the tutoring program is being conducted virtually.
You are absolutely correct. So we are virtual and we operate from 4:30 to 6:30. 4:30 is when the students check in and we are giving them an enrichment class at that time. So from 4:45 to 5:30, they are in an enrichment class, and tutors check in at 5:30. From 5:30 to 6:30, we are accustomed to having 90 minutes while we are in person. So most of our tutors and some of our students, especially our high school students, they do need that 90 minutes. So we will allow them to go until 7 o'clock. But the committed time is 5:30 to 6:30 for the tutors. And we are on Zoom. And when you check in, we put you in a breakout room with the student. If you need any help with anything, that there are at least 2 staff members that are always in the Zoom room, but you are in a breakout room with your student from 5:30 to 6:30. And normally the students share their screen when they're doing homework. They share their screen with their tutor.
Yes, Larry, please.
I'm a retired school teacher, and I have already submitted my application, I think, like Thursday or Friday of last week to volunteer.
All right, Larry. So are you interested? Okay. I'm trying to recruit already. Okay, Larry. Thank you. I'm going to look you up. I'm going to get in touch.
Yes, Colleen, please.
I have a question about tutoring. You mentioned helping with foreign languages. Which foreign languages do they study?
Well, a variety, mostly Spanish. Right.
We've definitely seen French, so
Yes, we have.
Japanese
Yeah.
I've seen over the years. But
Mhm.
yeah, definitely
The Spanish and
majority.
French are
Yeah.
the main ones, but yeah, you do find some of the other ones.
Can't help you with those, sorry.
But
Which
it's
one
good
do you know,
what
Colleen?
Sorry?
Which language do you?
Italian.
Okay, we'll see. Because we have a lot of students from LaSalle Language Academy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I am an ex-teacher too. Taught
Oh,
English as a second language to Italians in Italy. So I can help out with that.
all right. Yeah, we had a student from LaSalle Academy last year that did Italian because they can go to the country. Yeah.
Patricia, you had another question, and then Kathy.
Do you only take retired teachers for the reading clinic?
No.
I mean, I do have an education background in the sense that I'm a retired lawyer for the Chicago Public School System. But that may be a little too tangential.
So anyone that has experience in the education field, we're looking at any of those. No.
Okay, so you don't have to be in the education field to work or to volunteer in the reading clinic.
No, you do not.
Okay, thank you.
Someone's to reach out to you. Yeah.
Kathy, it's all you.
I just have a comment. The the Zoom last year, gosh, where did this come from? I haven't been talking. The Zoom tutoring worked very well last year. I have one little girl who's impossible even if I'm sitting next to her. So that's not so good. But then I had a high schooler and she would come at me with some kind of math or something from high school. And she would take a picture of her notes and text them to me. And I would look at them and then we would do the assignment. And I was able to help her that way. It was very, very efficient. Yeah, it worked very, very well with her. She's a good student. So the other little girl, she comes to tutoring to play games, and there's not much of that when you're Zooming.
But Kathy, that brings up a good point. I mean, we've all been navigating our creativity over the last year and a half, and certainly our programs are no different to that. And there's definitely been some great things that have come from all of this, and some new learnings. And so, we're continuing to plug along. Colleen, you had another question?
Yes, a question for Teresa. You mentioned the showering ministry. I assume that's not happening now.
It actually is. It just started up, probably sometime this summer. So yeah, we are offering showers again every Tuesday.
Who's coordinating the program?
Phil Gibney is still in
Okay.
charge. And they, I think, usually need about 4 to 5 volunteers.
Yeah.
And they're posted on BOMO. So yeah.
Okay, thank you, Teresa.
It's been full too. We open up the appointments at 9 o'clock on Tuesday morning, and they're always full by 9:30. So
Yeah. I used to do it, so I remember.
okay. Yeah, it's a fun program.
Yeah, Patricia, go ahead. I was just going to note that I'm going to throw everybody's email into the chat as well, just in case those who, may not be able to get on camera or unmute to ask those questions, they can follow up via email. So I will throw that out. And then Nanette, I assume, will there be a follow-up email too as things go out, as these wrap up?
Well, we don't have the emails of everybody who's on the call
Yeah.
now, so there's not really a way to send an email to them.
Okay. That's fine. So I'll throw that in the chat right now, but Patricia, please.
Yeah, just
Keep
I had
going.
a question also for Teresa about the outreach ministry. Did you say that was on a specific day, and what are the hours for that?
Yeah, so we do Tuesday through Friday from noon to 1. We are also very open if you're like, hey, I want to get involved, but I can't do noon to 1. We can come up with other times. The VOMO account we use requires that we post a specific time. So those are when we have staff or volunteers or interns available to go. So yeah, they should be on VOMO and Tuesday through Friday, noon to 1.
And I should say too, if anybody here who's attending as a guest to learn about the programs, if you want any of us to follow up with you, you could put your name and email address in the chat box also and just say, you know, what program you're interested in connecting with. And we will save the chat box and we can follow up on that.
Thanks, Nanette. Great idea.
I just would like to say I'm grateful for all the work that's being done by each of you. I came to listen to what's been happening, so I'm aware of that and can lead people in the right direction. My plate myself is quite full right now, but I always like to know what's going on at the church.
Thanks, Eric. I love that. Yes. Sometimes it's not about the time that you have. Sometimes it's just about making the connection to somebody else that you know, to a program at the church or at Chicago Lights. And that equally is, we appreciate that just as much. So a great example of doing that, Eric. Thank you. I am just getting the last email in the chat. And certainly, you know, I can stay on a little bit longer if people want to talk more, but we can also wrap up. So let me just get this last one in here. And I'll stay on for a few minutes, but if people are ready to log off, they can do that. And thank you again. We look forward to hopefully seeing your names and faces, either in person or on Zoom with our programs. And please do reach out and connect with any further questions. Thanks so much, everybody.
Great to see everybody here tonight.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye, everybody.